සොනරුඩ මන්තුමනී මම මේ ප්‍රශ්නය අසනවා මේකේ වෙලා ඉතුරු කරන්න අවශ්‍යතාව නිසා මම මේකේ ප්‍රශ්න විතරක් අහනවා අනිත් ඒවාට අපි විවාද තුලින් කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් මම කොටස් තුනකින් අහලා තිබ්බේ ඇමරිකාව වෙළඳපත් සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඒකේ පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්නේ වන්නේ ජනාධිපති ට්‍රම්ප්ගේ නව බදු ක්‍රමය මත පදනම්ව ශ්‍රී ලංකා නියෝජිතයන් හා ඇමරිකානු නිලධාරීන් අතර පවත්වන ලද සාකච්ඡාවල ප්‍රතිඵල පිළිබඳ කරු ඇමතුමා මේ මණ්ඩලයට මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට දැනුම් දිය හැකිද? දෙක ඇමරිකානු වෙළඳපොළ තුල ලෝක ආරක්ෂාව හමුවේ අපනයනය විශේෂයන් ඇඳුම් රබර් නිෂ්පාදන හා තේ සඳහා විශේෂ ප්‍රමුඛත්වය සහිත ප්‍රවේශයක් තහවුරු කිරීම සඳහා රජය ගන්නා නිශ්චිත පියවර මොනවද? තුන මේ අනත වෙළඳ වාතාවරණය මත පදනම්ව රජය වෙළඳ පරිශ්‍රයෙන් විවිධාංග කිරීම සඳහා අවදානමෙන් පසුගිය වෙළඳ පොළවල් බේරා ගැනීමෙන් යෝජිත අපනයන මාර්ග ඉදිරිපත් කරනවාද? හතර විශාල ආර්ථික බලවතුන් විසින් තීරණය කරන අසමාන වෙළඳ කිවිසුම් වලින් ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිෂ්පාදකයන් ආරක්ෂා කිරීම සඳහා රාජ්‍ය ප්‍රතිසාදාමනය වෙළඳ ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් අනුගමනය කරමින් සිටිනවාද? පහ ගෝලීය වෙළඳ ගැටලු නිසා ශ්‍රී ලංකාව ඇතිවිය හැකි මිල ඉහළ යාම සැපයුම් සංග්‍රහණයේ බාධාවක් සහ රැකියා අලාභය පිළිබඳව ආර්ථික විශ්ලේෂණය සිදු කර ඇතිද? එම විශ්ලේෂණය පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ඉදිරිපත් කරනවාද? මෙම නව බදු භීෂණයෙන් ආර්ථිකය ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීමට ද්විපාර්ශ්වික ගිවිසුම් කලාපීය සන්ධාන හෝ ලෝක වෙළඳ සංවිධාන WTO ක්‍රමපායන් යටතේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාව පියවරගෙන තිබේද? Then the second type of question comes in from the European Union GSP negotiations. I asked the question, what measures have been taken to ensure transparency and stakeholder engagement, especially with the trade unions, exporters and civil society during two rounds of GSP negotiations? What specific labour law reforms has the government agreed or being asked to undertake? 2. What is the government's official stance on Prevention of Terrorism Act PTA? Does it intend to repeal or substantially amend it to comply with international human rights standards? 3. What assessments have been conducted to determine how potential changes to GSP Plus will impact and small medium-sized exporters, especially in the apparel, fisheries and agri-based sectors? 4. The recently enacted Online Safety Act has sparked concern regarding its potential effect on freedom of expression, media independence and digital rights. Will the government consider reviewing or amending the Act to include safeguards? Has the stakeholder consultation taken place on this matter? In the event 5, in the event of that the GSP Plus benefits are suspended or negotiations collapse, what is the government's contingency plan to protect exporters, industries and employment? My third area is the free trade with the United Kingdom, because of the fact that the United Kingdom has entered into a free trade agreement with India. So I'm trying to protect Sri Lanka's interests. Therefore, I ask the question, 1, has the government initiated or considered launching negotiations for bilateral trade or market access agreement with the United Kingdom to ensure competitiveness for Sri Lankan exporters? 2. Why did Sri Lanka not proactively engage in trade discussions with UK, especially when the India-UK FTA negotiations were publicly known and ongoing for nearly a decade? 3. Given our long-standing ties with the United Kingdom and our shared membership in the Commonwealth, why has Sri Lanka not sought priority country status to expedite a trade agreement with UK? 4. As Sri Lanka emerges from economic bankruptcy, is the government exploring the possibility of securing a special protective trade agreement with the UK? 5. Does Sri Lanka have a data-driven strategy to assess and respond to potential market erosion caused by the India-UK FTA? How will the intelligence be used to protect and promote our exports in the UK market? Thank you.
Honourable Chair, the member presented not just questions, it's a list of questions. There were 16 of them. It was received little late, for sure, but I will provide a... For sure. So a response has been prepared. There are three major sections that are being covered in this. One is relating to the US tariff side, other one is relating to the GSP side, and other one relating to the UK the ongoing discussions. Honourable Member, relating to the US tariff discussions, many of the areas that have been discussed already. However, the question number one, the discussions are ongoing and are yet to be finalized. Question number two, the same position applies relating to concrete steps. There are alternatives that have been identified, but finality has to be decided because discussions are ongoing. Question number three referred to an updated export strategy. We are looking at new markets, new products, obviously expansion, diversification, etc. So multiple factors have been considered, but finality, as I mentioned earlier, is yet to be identified. It is a mutual benefit arrangement. It's ongoing discussions with very positive engagement, Honourable Member, from both sides. Then question 4 relating to whether it is reciprocity or whether it is asymmetrical and unfair trade. As I said, our expectation from both parties is for mutual benefit. Therefore, we believe that we will be able to get a good outcome. But it is very important to mention this is not a matter targeting Sri Lanka. It depends on the overall global structure. So Sri Lanka may not be the targeted country in this scenario. Instead, we have a very good relationship, very good ongoing discussions based on the developments to date. And item number 5, in terms of trade disruptions, obviously trade disruptions sometimes bring about opportunities as well. During these negotiations and discussions, we have identified and explored opportunities that Sri Lanka can explore further. So it's a good outcome in some of the areas. Obviously, there are challenges also, given the current economic calamity and the situation that the country is going through. But we are expecting a good outcome, as I mentioned earlier. Question number 6, has Sri Lanka explored other regional alliances? It is a continuous engagement. We will continuously we will be exploring those facilities and opportunities that are out there. Question number 2, mainly relating to European Union's GSP negotiations. I will provide a concise, summarized form for those 5 questions that are there. I know it's an ongoing basis. The partners have been here. We have engaged in the preliminary discussions with them. There is progress on those fronts. Our view is to engage multiple stakeholders, get their views and ideas also when responding to these engagements and the issues that have been identified. Focusing on improvements, particularly you have mentioned relating to the Online Safety Act, etc., on various other provisions that you have identified, the alternative approaches to provide solutions to the issues that we have, Honourable Member. And there are some changes. We are being rather perhaps expecting some changes in their regulation and approach of providing these as well. Some initial indications have been provided. So we are expecting more details to provide a more detailed and a more constructive type of a response to this matter. The final one relating to the free trade with the United Kingdom. Once again, it has ongoing discussions. In relation to that item, several discussions have already taken place. For question number 1, the government of Sri Lanka has consistently expressed its interest to establishing a bilateral trade agreements or market access arrangements with the UK, recognizing the importance of maintenance and enhancing the competitiveness of Sri Lankan exporters in the UK market, particularly following the UK's departure from the European Union. Sri Lanka has conveyed its interest through multiple channels, including official channels. At every opportunity, the government has emphasized the potential mutual benefit of such arrangements, especially for key export sectors such as apparel, tea and rubber-based products. The answer to question number 2, as stated in response 1, Sri Lanka has in fact been proactive in engaging with the United Kingdom to express its interest for market access engagements, discussions and arrangements. These efforts have included consistent outreach through various engagements, through official means. Question number 3, response. Sri Lanka deeply values its historical and contemporary relationship with the United Kingdom, as well as its active participation within the Commonwealth framework. While the concept of priority country status is indeed an important consideration, trade negotiations and agreements are multifaceted proposals that deepening mutual readiness, alignments of trade interests and appropriateness in terms of timing. Sri Lanka continues to engage constructively with UK, emphasizing our shared history and common values, and remains committed to advancing these discussions through appropriate diplomatic and trade channels. Response to question number 4. Government continues to explore and continue to engage, identifying all possible mechanisms and avenues to continuously engage in the dialogue. Response to question number 5. The Government of Sri Lanka is closely monitoring the India-United Kingdom Free Trade Agreement and the content. We observe that the detailed provisions on the agreement, such as tariff reduction schedules, rules of origin, quota allocations, service commitments, have not yet been made public to the extent that for us to make certain decisions and further engagements. Therefore, we will arrange a comprehensive impact analysis focusing on the impact of our major sectors. If there is any overlapping export interest into the market, we will continue to explore synergies. I'm sure there will be additional opportunities coming up, Honourable Member, as well, being Sri Lanka seated next to India. And so therefore we will continue to explore those opportunities and synergies for us to cooperate and collaborate for mutual benefit. We do not anticipate any immediate challenges or threats emerging from this one. However, as I mentioned, we will continue to monitor, analyze the details and prepare a detailed response from the government side of it in order to facilitate our exporters and industries to continue to have those market access and our industries to grow. Particularly, this is important from the production economy, Honourable Chair, that we have mentioned. To support those industries, government will continue to focus and facilitate and support industries in these areas. Thank you.
ඔබතුමාට අලුත් ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න බෑ. මේ එතුමා කැමති නම් පැහැදිලි කර ගැනීමක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
තමයි මම අහන්නේ. මේ දුන්න ප්‍රශ්න
පැහැදිලි කර ගැනීමක් කරගන්න පුළුවන් එතුමා කැමති නම්.
පැහැදිලි කර ගැනීමක් තමයි මේ අජන්මන්ට් ක්වෙස්චන් එක කියන්නේ ඒකයි. මෙතන නිකන් දෙන එක අහන්න නැහැ. මෙතන ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් ඒක මම
නැවත අලුත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න බෑ. පැහැදිලි කර ගැනීමක් ඔබතුමා එකඟ නම් පුළුවන්.
Oh. Honourable Minister, my concern is the globalized world, we seem to be moving towards a big club world, in the sense big countries seem to be liking to work together. Earlier the globalized world is now splitting into regional trade. Now with USA having 3.2 billion, your question is that it's still too premature. Yes, I would not try to get an answer which is premature at the moment. But do you think with the China agreement being sealed, Japan and Korea being sealed, and the problem existed with Mexico and Canada, and they seem to be also fall into place, would we small countries get suffocated in the process with the universal tax coming in, and the difference between these agreed countries and us, the disparity being less, so the competitiveness between cheap labor like us or cheap producing countries like us having a problem to compete with these big boys? I am sure you are leading the negotiation. So I thought it preemptive we know to get to this point because we need to be ready.
Thank you very much for highlighting that clarification. Honourable Chair, yes, it's the evolving global dynamics focuses and pushes countries like Sri Lanka to look for new solutions, innovative approaches to some of the challenges. And it's not only trade-related challenges due to ongoing other tensions in the various regions. Some of our traditional markets may be restricted, we may have restricted access, or there may be cost escalations to support those routes, etc. Therefore, our approach is, Honourable Member, to continue to explore and to work with those governments, irrespective of whether they are larger countries with large trade activities or whether they are smaller countries with smaller trade activities, collectively how we can go for a better solution. That is where our ongoing discussions with the US is a classic example. Despite the differences in terms of sizes, we had a very good discussions, cordial discussions, exchange of information. So the position as of now is we are moving in the right direction. So our approach is similar to what we have done up to now. Continue to engage other partners, try to secure the best benefit for the Sri Lankan exporters to ensure when market access of one region is either temporary or for a prolonged period is challenged due to evolving situation, we will open up opportunities in other segments. So that's our approach to see, because we won't be able to prevent those global events from happening. It is our responsiveness in terms of preparedness to attend to those situations and support our industries. Thank you.
The rest assured that opening markets will take that amount of time. Now you are basically saying USA, which is having a sale value which is far greater, you won't be able to replace that with even an India or a SAARC or within this area, because the prices are completely different. Now the question that exists is, obviously the country producers will have to go into thinner margins, and thinner margins would mean where the problems that are created owing to domestic problems here will impact on the competitiveness of the particular Sri Lanka vis-a-vis with our peers. Now, these are the reasons why I was talking about the high taxes, the high labor and the electricity. Now, with that, I was happy to see day before yesterday the Inland Revenue Commissioner saying that the SWAT, the VAT should be digitalized, which is happening. The SWAT will be abolished. Now, this is an area which you once again will take full responsibility to ensure that this moves in a seamless manner. Otherwise, these exporters who work on thin margin and have a cash flow problem will have a major problem. So why we are asking this is that being involved in the process, we see the pitfalls. So ensure that before we basically get into that we have a seamless solution to these problems that come about. We exporters are very worried. The new orders have stopped coming in because the 3 months period that we got helped us to export what was there. But the new orders have not come into the future spring delivery. So on that score, while moving into new markets is an impossibility, it will take 2, 3, 4 years. So existing markets where you have almost 1.5 million people working, directly and indirectly. That is the reason why I'm basically asking from the US, then I'll move on to the UK and into the European Union.
This as the last question, clarification, Honourable Chair. So as I said, the requirement from the government side is, we know our competitiveness was hampered over a long period of time, not because of lack of creativity among our entrepreneurs and businesses, because they were not competitive enough to go to international markets. Our energy costs were so high, our infrastructure supporting in terms of finance costs was so high, they could not compete with some of the other regions who are much more competitive. That is why in the manifesto itself, present government mentioned, Honourable Chair, very clearly, over a period of time we will reduce the energy prices by nearly 30%, allowing our exporters to compete freely, effectively in the global market and in the regional market as well. So our approach is similar to reducing energy prices. Our digitization process, once again the SWAT that you mentioned, Honourable Member, it is to ensure we have a seamless process. That's why several activities are lined up back to support those sectors. Government is decided and laid out a plan in place to ensure sectors are supported as and when necessary also amidst these global challenges. I will limit questions up to this point. Thank you.
Garu Parliament Mantrine Nitijna